Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is Popping Culture Movie Reviews. My guest today is comedian Jake Weddle. The movie that we'll be reviewing is Team America World Police. Jake chose the movie. Before we get into it, this will be a 100% spoiler review. But before we spoil the movie, Jake, do you think they should watch it?
I think everybody should be required to watch this in class.
I agree. It's a good movie. You would definitely enjoy it. What grade should they watch this, Jake?
Oh gosh. Okay, it's your senior year of high school, and this is for your civics class. And the teacher in the civics class is kind of that teacher that doesn't really give a fuck anymore. He's got tenure and he's really cool. And he's the kind of teacher who would let you watch like episodes of like CSI in class, like really it's the end, it's the last week of school when you really can't get in trouble anymore. And it's for everyone who's about to graduate, and no one tells any of the principal or like assistants management about it. Like everyone's like, hey, don't, if everyone keeps this quiet, we can watch Team America World Police in our civics class.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. That was that was that was very on point. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah.
was a that's exactly how this yeah. So guys, everything past this point is 100% spoilers. Uh why'd you choose this movie, Jake?
I chose this movie. This is my favorite movie because I love describing it to people, because I always tell people it's a post 9/11 political satire. I start with that. Okay. Musical, post 9/11 political satire musical with marionette puppets. I save that till the end. I want to see every detail register on the face before I get to the end. And I think the Trey Parker and Matt Stone are geniuses. I love them so much. I think South Park is one of the best shows of all time. The musical Book of Mormon is fantastic. I think they are some of the best satirists television, film, media has seen in a long, long time. And why I love this movie is what it does is, okay, you can find people who don't understand the irony of the movie. When someone does like a racist joke, but you understand you're being like ironic, but like really dumb people would be like, yeah. And you got to like, oh no, you think I'm like serious. You know what I mean? Like, because there are parts in this movie that are horribly racist. Obviously, there's parts in this movie that if you don't understand that it's satire, then you could probably take the wrong things out of this movie and just be like, oh, ha ha ha, that racism is funny. It's funny because they're saying that this is like America's foreign policy is incredibly racist. Like that's what they're saying in the movie. And that's not wrong. America has very racist foreign policy. And my favorite thing in comedy is taking a highbrow concept and bringing it down to such a low bar place without losing that highbrow aspect to it. Like if you can talk about how America's foreign policy is racist and imperialist, but you're over here doing the dick stuff and you're using the dick stuff to talk about that, I think that's genius. It's my favorite thing in comedy. And that's why it's one of my favorite movies.
Nice, nice. Uh which which song is your favorite of the movie?
Oh gosh. Um Oh, that's such a, no one's ever asked me that before. That's such a good question and I don't know. It's a tie between the song that plays when they're having sex, the puppet sex, the early aggressive puppet sex, or it's the I Miss You song, where he because it goes the song is Pearl Harbor Sucked, the movie with Ben Affleck, and I Miss You. And I love when they shit on Ben Affleck like that. I think it's so funny. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on. But those two songs I think are fantastic.
You're
Oh
completely
no!
right.
Also, Everyone Has AIDS, the parody of Rent.
Yes,
That's
that's my
also so
favorite.
funny. Yeah, yeah, that's also fantastic.
Yes, that was my favorite. Where I was just like, all right, this is when I watched it earlier today, and I was just like watched it again earlier today,
Mhm.
and I was just like, yeah, this is 2004. Like
Yeah,
this is this like it's still I like Rent. Like
yeah.
I do enjoy Rent. So when I saw it, I
Yes.
was just like, I bet this hit way harder in 2004.
Oh my god, that hit so hard. This whole movie hit so hard in 2004.
Yeah, Michael Vick was like the number one quarterback, and then you had this movie, and uh Trey Parker.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like what can these? Oh man, I forgot the other guy's name just that fast. Trey
Matt
Parker.
Stone.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. When I say going against the grain, doing something edgy, they
Mhm.
are just like they just do it. Like I don't know if anybody's ever told them no, but if they had,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure those people don't have a job anymore.
Well, here's the thing about Trey Parker and Matt Stone is I think there's two reasons why they get away with what they get away with. Is A, they're like, as much as you want to poo-poo it as it being like lowbrow stuff, they do have a philosophical point to what they're doing. And if you want to dissect what the film is, uh it's not like they're just it's not raunchy for the sake of raunchy. A point is being made, and if someone wants to be like, oh, that movie's bad because it's raunchy, then you can come at them with the defense of, oh, here's why it's raunchy, here's what they're saying. But also, when they do a cut of a movie or a TV show or whatever they're doing, they have a worse cut. There's always like an extended cut that's so terrible. And then the executives come in and go, you got to get rid of this terrible thing. That one thing is so terrible, it distracts them from the rest of the movie. They'll add something like there's an extended cut of that sex scene. I don't know which version of that sex scene you watched, but there's a version that's so much worse. Then the executives came in and they said, you got to cut that sex scene down. And they go, okay, I guess we'll cut the sex scene down. But they made that sex scene so gross so that they'll focus on that and not the rest of the horrible movie.
Yeah, I didn't see that version. I saw whatever's on Amazon Prime. That's what I watched.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to the walking in this movie,
Oh, yeah.
when I say I forgot how funny like guys, they're puppets. So, but the legs are not touching at all. Like the legs are just literally
Yeah.
like it's just the walking makes me laugh throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, and that's definitely on purpose too. Like, because it is really really difficult to operate those puppets. Like, there's like 6 puppeteers per puppet. Like, it's nuts how many puppets, how many people are operating those puppets. But like a lot of the comedy comes from like the kung fu fights where they're just, like just flopping their arms and stuff. It's so funny. I was watching a documentary about this, and they were talking about how that movie was so hard to make. It was so difficult to make because you had to make all those miniature sets, and you had to make those sets be able to where puppeteers are on the bottom and above the set. You had to make sure none of the wires got tangled. You had to make sure all the practical stuff worked. It was so difficult to make that Trey Parker and Matt Stone have both said publicly, we are never ever making a puppet movie ever again. So this is the only time. There will never be a sequel. I would love a sequel. Nothing would make me happier than a sequel to this movie. It will never happen.
Uh, well, cool. I mean, yeah, all that struggle. I guess the
Mhm.
product was well, and yeah. Now we get to 9/11.
Yeah.
How would you like to discuss that part?
Oh, well, when 9/11 happened for me, I was in kindergarten, and my mom told me that that's the reason why there's a TV in my room, which score. But also, why would you see 9/11? I've told this to my mom. I go, why would you see 9/11 on the news and be like, oh my God, that's got to be playing in my kid's room? That those people dying in that building, we got to put the news in my kid's room. Because when I was a kid, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I should be up to date on what's going on in the world. I'm 7, so I should. It's about time for me to figure out what's going on. So when I was a kid, I don't like remember like 9/11 hitting me. I remember I was like, oh, school ended early today. That's weird. And so we're all going home, and the teacher's crying. That's nuts. But outside of that, I wasn't really super affected by
Yeah.
9/11. I was more affected by Green Day's American Idiot album than I was 9/11.
My of course, I got they evacuated my elementary school also, but my only like not funny because it's nothing funny, but 9/11. But the only story that I have that like has something to do with 9/11 that I do think is funny.
Yeah.
My ex-wife is 10 years older than me, and long story
Okay.
short, she looks young. So like on our third date, that's when like I don't know how, but we start talking about 9/11,
Yeah.
and legit, buddy, we were at two different places at 9/11,
That's
and
a great
just
that's a great bit. I love that.
and just to see us sit at the table and just to see her face as I'm saying she was eating I think we were doing she didn't like sushi, so she had some kind of like hibachi and I had sushi. And just see her eat her hibachi as I'm saying, like, yeah, they evacuated the whole elementary school. Like I didn't know what's going on. Like my mom picked me up and just to see her go like, you used to work at elementary school. That's wild. And be like, nah, I did. I was a student. And just to see her go like, all right, how old are you? And I was just like, what were you
I
doing?
was
She was
about to
like,
say, how'd you guys meet if there's a 10-year age gap?
we weren't like I said, if you saw her, you would like I mean, she was older, but I thought like maybe 3 or 4 years. Like
Sure.
she didn't like if you see her, you'd be like, oh, like black don't crack. And like
So
you'd be
so
like,
she
oh
looks good for her age and you look terrible. That's what you're saying.
yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's okay. I've had someone check my ID at Harris Teeter, and they were really looking at it, and they were like, huh? And I go, what? They go, 23. I go, yeah. And they go, I thought you were like 45. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay. You're at Harris Teeter. Relax. Okay,
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah. I thought they thought you were the guy from Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah. Yeah, this
I can't
mustache does not do me any favors. This mustache makes my age so miscellaneous.
yeah. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but when I saw you with the mustache, I was like, oh man, he's famous. And yeah. Yeah. Um sorry about that, man. But to get back to the movie,
Oh,
how'd you
yeah,
feel
yeah.
about the soundtrack?
The soundtrack's fantastic. I used to have it downloaded back when I was illegally downloading music because it took me forever to get a Spotify because I was stubborn. I downloaded the whole soundtrack and I would listen to it all the time. I think Trey Parker, Matt Stone. I know that one of them has like a musical theater background, like not in like a performer way, but like I think they only went to school for it a little bit. And so I know one of them's like a solid lyricist, and I think they collaborate with a music person as well. So there's some unsung collaborator that makes all the music for him, and I think that person won all the Tonys for Book of Mormon. But the soundtrack's fantastic. It's if I had to rate it as an album, every track slaps. The bonus track slaps. You can play it in any occasion. I'm kidding. There's so many occasions you can't play this. But yeah, no, I think the soundtrack's immaculate. I think every Trey Parker, Matt Stone project, like every big project they have, always has a banging soundtrack.
Nice. And the guys go back. We talked about 9/11 just because this movie came out in 2004, just a couple years after 9/11. And what they talk about, since this is 100% spoiler, they do bomb the Middle East. Like it's a
Yeah,
portion
yeah.
of this movie where they bomb the Middle East, and it's just that like it's a funny it's not funny but it's a funny scene like it's no whole bar like that
Yeah, yeah,
scene is
yeah.
meant to be what it is.
And it's great because like what they're doing is it's like the because that's what everyone was criticizing America for at the time. They were like, you can't go around being the world's police. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone said, world police, that sounds like a great premise. So they became the Team America World Police, and the world police goes to another country, and in the pursuit of finding terrorists, they blow the shit out of their country. And that is why it's such a poignant, like it's not even a metaphor, it's so in your face, but it's so poignant and like true and satirical about what was going on at the time in like American politics. But at the same time, you're right, it's such a guttural, like they just go over there and the characters are racist, they're homophobic, they go over there and they blow up all these brown people and they're like, fuck yeah. And it's like, it's so funny, dude, it's so funny.
Yes, they said they don't pull any punches.
They don't
How do
pull
you
any
feel
punches.
how do you feel about the way they picked on Hollywood?
I think that's funny because Trey Parker and Matt Stone always do this thing where it's two-sided, like they'll make fun of they're a huge proponent of making fun of both sides. So when they're making fun of, the America, fuck yeah, that's them making fun of conservatives. And then, they have to make sure they bring it around and they're making fun of all the celebrities, especially like Sean Penn, George Clooney, Alec Baldwin. They're making fun of all them for like, oh, you're celebrities. Oh, I'm sure this celebrity knows everything about foreign policy. This guy who gets paid millions of dollars to be in a movie. And I think they're like directly making fun of Sean Penn speaking to Congress. And they're like, why is Sean Penn talking to Congress? So I think they're making fun of that whole aspect, but they're making fun of those celebrities through the lens of conservatism. So they're calling them the F slur for gay people, and they're like all these liberal pussies, and so they're still making fun of them through the conservative lens, but they are making fun of both sides in that. So I thought that was really well done and great.
Yeah. How do you like the pacing of this movie?
Oh gosh, it's not too long. I don't know how long it is off the top of my head, but it never feels long. It never. I'm sorry. Is that my Discord popping off? I feel like it's my Discord popping off. I
It's
apologize.
okay. The movie is 98 minutes.
98 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. And it's not, yeah, again, it's not super long. It's very quick, and the pacing is great. They got musical number montages. It's so funny, that song, you're gonna need a montage. We gotta speed it up. We gotta get through this. So yeah, the pacing's great. Yeah, I got no complaints about the pacing.
Um, I mean, did you have like a favorite voice actor in this movie?
I'm almost convinced that the guy who plays Spotwood, like the guy who like assembles the team, is voiced by the same guy who does the voice of Cosmo in Fairly Odd Parents, and also Timmy's dad. And he's kind of doing Timmy's dad. It's almost like he took Timmy's dad and Cosmo and put them together. And I think he has the funniest line in the whole movie, where it goes, if you get caught, you might want to take your own life. So here, you might need this. And he hands him a hammer. That's so funny. That's so funny. So yeah, I think he's my favorite standout performance in the whole movie.
Nice. When it came to the ending, do you
Yeah.
think they could have ended it any way better?
Oh gosh, there was one song that was in like a bonus track, I guess. It was in the credits. It was another. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to go back. I lied about what my favorite song was. I completely lied to you. Here's my favorite song of the whole movie. It's Kim Jong-il's number. Are you kidding me? Of course it is. When Kim Jong-il sings "I'm so Ronry," dude, I'm so Ronry. That's so funny. Like, it's okay, it's so racist, okay? But again, they're making fun of Kim Jong-il through the perspective of conservatives, and conservatives would be racist. So the Kim Jong-il song about how lonely he is. Kim Jong-il is just lonely. That's my favorite song. So I got to back up and tell you that's my favorite song. But there's another number at the end in the credits. It's after Kim Jong-il turns into a bug and gets into a spaceship and flies away. There's one last song it playing during the credits about how it's like, you are worthless Alec Baldwin, you are worthless Alec Baldwin. And I would have loved to have seen that last number actualized. I would have loved to have seen like one. It again, it ended so climactically that tacking on one more song, I can see why they chose not to tack on one more song. But I would just have loved to have seen that last piece come to life.
Nice. I can see how that. Yeah, I can see that. 1 through 10, what did you give this movie?
10 out of 10, the highest score I could give a film. This is my favorite. Everything I love about movies, everything I love about comedy, everything I love about musical theory is in this movie. Everything I love about politics. I could not give a better review of this movie. This movie has informed more of my like comedy repertoire than like any other film. I love that movie so much. I would give it the highest score I possibly can.
Nice. I would give it an 8. Like I said, I think it's a good film. I think they definitely put a lot of passion into it, and
I'm also not one of those people that it's like, oh, I hate Team America World Police. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. And yeah, I've shown people this movie and then went, Jesus Christ, what is this? And I get it. Okay, I get it. If you're afraid of puppets, I get it. If you don't understand why the blackface is sarcasm, I get it. Or not sarcasm, satire. I get it. Same in Tropic Thunder. Robert Downey Jr. They're making fun of liberal white people when they do the blackface, because they're implying that they think a white actor could be so good that they could pull off doing a black performance. So they're making fun of left-leaning white people when they do that blackface thing. But it's not just blackface for the sake of blackface. I think there's a lot of nuance that people will just throw out the window. Yeah, blackface on its face, no pun intended, is terrible. But if you're making a point that's poignant, and again, it's all comedy. If you're just getting up there and doing like rape jokes for the sake of rape jokes, what are you doing? Don't do that. But if you're getting up there and you have like a funny point or a funny perspective about something that's maybe like, I don't know, it's dicey. It's dicey to do material like that. But if you can make a poignant observation about something that dicey, that's my favorite thing in comedy. And I think Team America World Police does that out the ass. So
if no one gets mad about a white woman playing Cleopatra, I don't think anybody should get mad about this movie.
Yeah.
What
was that Gods of Egypt movie? Full of white people. That Gods of Egypt movie. None of those people were white people. Get out of here.
Yeah, Gerard Butler. fan of
Yeah,
him, but
yeah.
I have
The king of Egypt is Gerard Butler.
yeah, like it's just, and I'm a fan. Don't get me wrong, he chooses some
Yeah,
horrible movies, but
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that was one where I was just like, come on, man, not you. But
That's so funny.
yeah. Um, do you believe that this movie has become a part of pop culture?
Oh, I think this movie was a part of pop culture when it came out, and I know Trey Parker and Matt Stone have a corner of pop culture that they will never let go of. As long as Trey Parker and Matt Stone are around, their work is relevant. And I think it'll be even relevant after that. And I think this movie does have a place, but I don't think it's like mainstream at the moment. Like, because there are times I bring this movie up and they go, "What recess of my brain did you just activate to shake that movie out of my brain?" Like even you said, I haven't seen that since 2004. Exactly. I talked to some people; they've never heard of it. It's like a foreign concept I'm introducing to them. And then there are some people who are like, "That's also my favorite movie." So I think it's a part of pop culture, but I don't think it's as currently. I think it's relevant and I think it's resonant, but I don't think it's on the forefront of like your average Joe's brain.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the movie review. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Yeah, pretty much everything I said in the podcast. I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/Jake Weddle. I got a website, jakeweddle.com. I'm on Twitter at this is Jake21. I'm on Instagram at Jake_Weddle. And find me on YouTube. Like and sub to my stuff. If I haven't uploaded in a while, I deeply apologize. I'll upload later. Get off my back, mom. Sorry.
Guys, definitely follow Jake. And if he's in your city, I'm telling you, this guy's hilarious. Make sure you check him out. Thank you again for coming on the movie review. Thank you guys for listening and have an amazing day.